Gonzalez making his way. Buena Park, California. 20 years old, turns 21 in 5 weeks. Making his way to the ring right now. That's from his last fight against a tough Filipino at the StubHub Center in June.
Rounds. Yeah, it took him 8 rounds. First time, I believe, that Chimpa's gone 8 rounds, and I think he needed it.
Gonzalez has scored a string of quickie KOs right here at the Blasco Theater and then in the open air of StubHub Center in Carson, California. And with a very strong and athletic Filipino fighter, naturally lighter guy, but a guy who used his size to move around the ring and make Gonzalez try to hunt him down.
And Chimpa coming into Tigres
Y
del
ahora, damas y
Norte, Joe
caballeros, de la
Martinez
próxima
in the
pelea
ring.
está pactada por 8 asaltos en el peso ligero. And here we go, fight fans. Our co-featured bout of the evening, 8 rounds. This in the lightweight division. Los tres jueces otra vez. Once again, your 3 judges scoring at ringside. Raul Caiz, Jonathan Davis, and Max DeLuca. When the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, encargado de ring, referee Wayne Hedgeman. Presentaron primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos azul con plateado y un peso de 135 libras. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue with silver, he weighed in 135 pounds. Con un récord de 8 victorias, 3 derrotas, 2 empates y 3 ganadas por nocaut. His professional record in 13 bouts, 8 victories, 3 defeats, 2 draws with 3 wins by way of knockout. De Los Algodones, Mexico, presentando Jonathan Corrales. Y sorprende en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos azul con amarillo y un peso de 134 libras y medias. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears blue and yellow. He weighed in 134 and 1/2 pounds. Con un récord perfecto de 14 victorias, 0 derrotas y 12 ganadas por nocaut. He stands perfect in 14 bouts, 14 victories, no defeats, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando el orgullo, he is the fighting pride of Buena Park, California, the undefeated Cristian Chimpa Gonzalez.
Good evening, you fellows. You received the instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch him up and come out the bell.
Wayne Hedgeman ready to go. Third man in the ring. Our co-feature, Christian Gonzalez, Jonathan Corrales. Here's the tail of the tape, Doug.
Gonzalez, at age 20, 3 years younger. He is 3 inches taller and has a very slight reach advantage.
As we get ready to go, you see the timekeeper with her hand up in the air. The Michigan alum rings the bell. We're underway at the Blasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Sold out crowd at the LA Fight Club. The first Friday of every month. It gets going. The year anniversary, year and a half have been here now, and it's always fired up. And Christian Gonzalez brings a crowd. Buena Park, home of Knott's Berry Farm, and Chimpa Gonzalez. Chimpa in the neon highlighter with the blue trim.
It's great hearing those chants of Chimpa. It's great to see young fighters getting a following this earlier in the career at this age. Guys who were 20, 21 years old. And just in the, their first couple of years as a pro, having a solid fan base.
Well, this has been one of
growing
the
fan
mission
base.
statements of this LA Fight Club series is actually to not only give fighters a young chance to develop, but also develop a ticket-selling base. That kind of reminds me of what was going on at the Olympic Auditorium for years with Don Goro, Luke Shargan, and Eileen Eaton. To have a show twice a month. This has developed a lot of ticket sellers for years.
Jonathan Corrales says he's from Phoenix, Arizona. That's where he was born. But he lives in Los Algodones, Mexicali, Mexico, right there on the border. Trains with Doño Diaz at Coachella. Joel Diaz is the second. A Diaz family just got done with Oscar Duarte's win. And who does Corrales spar with primarily in the last few weeks? Oscar Duarte.
I'll say that speaks well of him. And because of who's in his corner and where he trained, I'm expecting him to give Chimpa Gonzalez a stern challenge tonight. I don't know anything about Corrales, but just, and I'm not really looking at his record either, but just who's in his corner, I know how Joel and Tono Diaz are. They're not going to waste their time with somebody that's not going to give them 100% in the gym and that doesn't have some kind of potential.
Yeah, he comes in on a pretty good momentum, 6-1 in his last 7, but as you look a little bit deeper into that record, 4 opponents with no victories, but again, winning can be forced as a habit, and he does come in with a little bit of momentum. One thing that's very noticeable, Doug, about Chimpa early on, and we note that he's only 20 years old, his body is beginning to fill out. It is really starting to look like a professional prize fighter.
Is that a knockdown?
Yeah. It will be counted as a knockdown.
Yeah, and
here in the first round.
Corrales looks hurt. He looks stunned, but I
didn't see a big punch.
I think it might have been a left uppercut, guys.
It was very compact if it was. And obviously something happened.
Okay, here it comes.
I could see in his body language.
First round, Chimpa knocks him down, and Corrales does look woozy here. Body shot, trying to cover up the right side. That's ruled the push down. 10 seconds to go in the first round. It's scheduled for 8. Corrales has been in some battles in that sparring at Coachella, but right now when you're in the real deal, it's different. He's bleeding from the nose here in the first round.
Ya pasó. Hey, mueve más tu cintura, que hiciste lo más difícil. El vato es cuestión de tiempo, sigue moviendo tu cintura, no te encimes tu distancia, mete tus ojos, mete tus ganchos arriba, la fea no se te olvide, es importante.
All right, let's see if we can get a look at the punch that scored the knockdown.
Bang.
There's a left to the body.
Left hook.
And then a left hook goes right through the chin of Corrales. Here's a better angle. Boom. Man, it was short.
Boy, Doug, you know what's compact about that? It was so compact and short, really no wasted motion.
No.
Just right from the elbow. And that's what's
He just
impressive
turned
about,
it over.
That's what's impressive about Chimpa. For a long-limbed kid, he could shorten and make his punches very, very tight on the inside.
What do you call it, Steve? The proverbial eraser?
The eraser.
That's a great thing to have for a young fighter.
Jonathan Gonzalez is trying to eavesdrop in that corner right above us, and he was given instruction by Tonio, but he's very woozy there. I don't think he heard anything that was said.
Yeah, he looks glazed over. You know, that knockdown happened towards the end of the opening round. And I've noticed with the way he delivers his punches, particularly his hook, they're kind of wide, Steve. He wings them a bit.
Chimpa Gonzalez trains with his dad. His dad, Oscar Gonzalez, there across the street from El Rancho High School in Pico Rivera. Sarabia, who's been around for a while as a trainer, has a gym in his backyard, and Chimpa and his dad have gone there for sparring. I went there a couple weeks ago. It is a sweat box.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
The ring
especially
barely
in
fits.
August. Yeah, absolutely.
The ring barely fits. Chimpa was doing work with his younger brother Alda here, and he was going to town on the opponents he was working with. And he looks so good right now. And Steve, you're right about that body. It's filling in.
It's filling in, and what's really impressive, most tall guys aren't going to be comfortable on the phone booth. Remember when those existed, guys? But look how short and straight he makes his punches, and he's also very compact. He is putting Corrales through the proverbial meat grinder here in round number 2.
And Corrales switches. He stays in that southpaw stance. That's one thing that you wrote about, Steve, how they're facing a southpaw for the first time.
But when you're that close to Gonzalez, I don't think it matters what your stance is. If he's able to touch your body and then bring those punches back up to your head, it doesn't really matter. That stance is not really a factor. And I'm noticing every time Gonzalez connects to Corrales' body, it shakes, it freezes.
And it drops. It shakes, it drops, and it is over. Christian Chimpa Gonzalez is now 15-0 with 13 KOs.
Good stoppage. That body was breaking down. It's broken. No point in letting it go on.
Sit down.
157 of the second round. Chimpa Gonzalez, given the nickname Chimpa by his mom as a kid because he danced around like that toy chimpanzee.
Beautiful inside combinations. It was left to the body, followed by uppercuts, followed by hooks.
You know what comparison? I'm going to make it again, and we've mentioned this name before, and I think recently he just had his birthday. The late, great Diego Corrales, tall, lanky guy that has the ability to make his punches very short and explosive on the inside.
Uppercut, left to the body, left uppercut, right cross, left hook. That was like a 4 or 5 pound. There's 1, 2, 3. There's a slight pause. Right uppercut, left hook. It's over.
I thought tonight, guys, the poise that he showed, how relaxed he was, and look at him waiting it on the
banging
inside.
the body. Left. I love the left to the body, left uppercut combination. How accurate, how technically crisp the punches are. And of course the power that comes. And you look at the body language of Corrales, sprawled on the canvas. He had no strength left even before this punch sequence.
I think his command tonight, Chimpa, was impressive. Not just the way he knocked him out, but what led up to it. I thought from the very beginning he commanded that ring, controlled it, worked off the ropes very, very well. If Chimpa was a stock, I'd buy a lot of it.
I would too, which says a lot about this program of developing young prospects, because as you've noted, his first appearance on an LA Fight Club, he came out being a suspect. Now he is a real prospect. And I tell you what, the only 2 guys that have gone the distance with him, they had to stick and move.
Yeah.
You cannot stand and trade with Gonzalez and expect to go the distance.
And it was a lot of moving, and
a lot of moving, a lot of holding.
Christian Gonzalez, his first 7 fights were in Mexico. They turned him pro down there in Tijuana, where you can turn pro at the age of 16. And then his first fight, March of 2015, here at the Belasco, dropped in the first round. After that, he's grown up, and he is now 15-0 with 13 KOs. We'll be back with more on Ring TV Live.
Alvarez is 26 with 50 fights. This will be his 50th fight.
There's not many things that put fear me or scare me. I was always the sales fighting in school and stuff like that.
Alvarez, golden boy, made a huge mistake here. I think we'll have the right man to do the job and take the crown away from Saul Alvarez.
Yo quería ser boxeador desde la primera vez que vi pelear a mi hermano y es algo que me apasiona hasta el día de hoy.
Damas y caballeros, 1 minuto 57 segundos del segundo asalto. Referee para la pelea para el ganador por knockout. The end comes officially 1 minute 57 seconds. Round number 2, we have your winner by KO victory. He is still undefeated, Christian Chimpa Gonzalez.
Chimpa Gonzalez carried around. Second round stoppage. There's that ever-present smile. Definitely go check out Steve's article on UCN Live to get the behind the scenes of who this guy is. 20-year-old Buena Park High School alum, family-oriented, always with his younger brother Aldo here. He's gonna get the Espanol interview. Let's just say that the English interview will be a little different. You know, because he gets Steve and Doug with him.
And I don't have the energy of that guy, man.
There you see, we're right here. This is where we sit right here. So we get a good vantage point and we get to hear what the opponents are being told by, are we a little smooth? We're gonna get the cameras on us?
That's some drama sometimes.
Hold on, man. Let me wipe the sweat away from here. Let me get the makeup going. But you know, you gotta get the pocket square going. Gotta cover up the white shirt. Look semi-professional here. All right, that's where we're at. We're ringside. Beth Durant, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kemp. Doug, your mailbag on Fridays. What was in it today?
You know, we're coming off, you know, kind of a slow month. So people are buzzing or complaining about fights that have just been made. There's a lot going on about Manny Pacquiao's fight
with Jesse Vargas.
How
In
could
fact,
you not? How could you not be excited,
How can I
Doug?
not be excited about
shame
Manny
on
Pacquiao?
you. Shame on you.
You know what? Manny Pacquiao is an icon. He's a first ballot future Hall of Famer, and obviously very important to the Filipino people. Folks, I mean, he actually made fans. So a lot of these folks who write into me saying, hey, you know, cut Manny some slack. He's fighting a real guy in Jesse Vargas, which I agree with. The young title holder, legit top 10 welterweight. It's just from my perspective, I've been following and covering Manny for 15 years. Really saw the guy at his best, and really for the last 5 years, it's been more about business. It's been more about Manny the politician. I remember Manny the boxer, okay? And that's what I want to remember. And I really feel, unless your name is Orlando Salido, if you've been in the game 20 years, it's time to move on.
Doug, there's an old saying, all good things must come to an end. And your sentiment is not exclusive to you. I kind of feel there's a whole generation of fighters from Floyd, Marquez, Klitschko.
Even guys I like, the immortal B-Hop. I love Bernard Hopkins.
Like I said a couple of weeks ago on 10 Count, they're like Sizzling. Move over, Bacon. Make way for something younger. And the bottom line is now the Pacquiao business is at a point where Bob Arum, get this, is actually putting on good undercard fights. That's how much it's changed.
We've seen some good undercards. Steve Farkson in Canada, always liking our tweets. Yes, I am liking your tweet right now as we're speaking. Zachary Ochoa. Zungri, you're going to be in Dallas, right? Zachary Ochoa added to the undercard of that fight as Chimpa Gonzalez joins us. We're just sending out hello to Zachary Ochoa. He says, my boy Chimpa, let's go. So there's Zungri checking you out. How did you feel? Second round knockout.
I feel good, man. You know, a long training camp, a successful training camp. So, you know, very happy with the outcome.
Last time we saw you was a StubHub Center in June. You had to fight 8 rounds for the first time. You were in there with the guy that was going to stick and move.
Yes.
Seems like anytime somebody wants to take the fight to you or stay in the pocket, they don't last too long. I mean, do you like it when they want to fight with you, or do you want to go rounds?
You know, we train to go to round, you know, to go to distance. I love fighting. You know, come forward. He likes to fight. I like to fight. You know, makes it an interesting fight. And you know, we were able to take him out there, you know, early in the second round.
It's your 13th KO. You're 15-0 now. Let's look at the highlights as they're coming for you right now. Our crack staff doing a great job putting it together. What do you see here, Chimpa?
You know, we're working, you know, we knew he was a little shorter. So, you know, we had to work the body shots and the uppercuts. And, you know, that's the one that got him out of the uppercut. And I heard him push a little bit, you know, a couple times. You know, the body shots were putting in effect.
Yeah, it was visible. Every time you hit him to the body, I mean, you could hear him grunt, but we could see his body seize up, freeze every time.
It was, like I said, we practiced it in the gym. And like I said, everything you worked in the gym, you know, it's time to put it to work in the ring.
And you work with your dad. I saw you at that gym or that sweat box where as soon as you walk in, you're sweating.
Yes.
That relationship you have with your dad, your older brother, Corrito, was world champion. How much of that helped you with the experience that they have?
You know, it's just very motivational for me, you know, that I see that it's possible, you know. He's my brother. It can happen, you know, and, you know, little by little, I'm getting one step closer to my dream of becoming world champion.
How far away do you think you are from being in the main event where you're fighting 10 rounds against that kind of opponent that, you know, maybe there's a youth title on the line, maybe there's a regional belt, something like that?
Oh, that, you know, hopefully sometime next year. You know, I'm still very young.
Yeah.
There's no rush. I'm 20 years old. So there's no rush. You know, next year we're going to bump it up to 10 rounds, you know, see how I feel. And, you know, if opportunity comes, like I said, I'm still young. There's no rush. When the time is right, when we feel, my team, Golden Boy, whenever he thinks it's right, let's do it.
Chimpa, you get up early. Follow his Snapchat. What's your Snapchat?
L_Chimpa.
L_. It's a good one because you can see him running the beach early in the mornings. You can see him buying a lot of shoes. But you can also see him running into a bear. Mount Baldy, you saw a bear.
Twice.
Oh, twice?
Man, be careful.
Yeah, you know.
What happened?
Again, that short left hook, man, baby.
Yeah, I don't think I can knock out a bear, but it was pretty cool, man. I was actually, the first time I got really scared. And then the second time we went, I told Rick, my manager, I'm like, drive right behind us, just in case it's there, we could jump on the car. And the second time we seen it, we was just chilling right there. And I took the flashlight and he was just looking at me, but, you know, I didn't do anything. I was ready to hop on the car, though.
Christian Chipa Gonzalez didn't have to beat up a bear, but he did get a second round KO tonight. His brother Alder here was in the crowd telling his brother what to do. This kid right here.
He's the one that did the mix with me before, so thanks to him. He was warming me up.
You're doing something right.
My brother Oscar, unfortunately, had to work today. So shout out to him, to Oscar. Shout out to Bermudes y toda la gente de Guadalajara. Un saludo a mi tío, everybody. Thank you guys all.
Christian Chipa Gonzalez, 15-0, 13 KOs. We'll be back with more on Ring TV.